a lot going on with Katt Williams right now? Or is there just a lot of stuff going on around Katt Williams' name?
Katt Williams isn't doing interviews, he's not promoting a special. He hasn't gone viral for a comedy club rant in months. By all accounts, he should be living quietly, preparing for the next leg of his tour. But strangely, his name hasn't disappeared. If anything, it's louder than ever. And the reason isn't because of Katt himself, it's because of the storm swirling around him. The death of comedian Reggie Carol, a man tied to Katt's tour, became the spark. Within hours, whispers of tragedy turned into a firestorm of accusations. Katt's silence was twisted into guilt, his reputation dragged into chaos. But here's the thing, when someone isn't speaking, but their name won't leave the headlines, it's usually not an accident, it's usually strategy. The question is, whose strategy? Reggie Carol's story should have been one of heartbreak and legacy. A young comedian still building his name, gaining traction with audiences and catching the attention of bigger players. Touring with Katt Williams wasn't just another gig. It was validation. It was proof that he had what it took to climb the ladder of comedy. But in an instant, everything ended. Reports say Carol was shot multiple times outside a home linked, at least loosely, to Katt Williams. Police rushed to the scene. Carol was transported to the hospital, but the injuries were too severe. The comedy world lost a rising voice, and his family lost a son, a friend, a partner. The first response should have been mourning. Social media tributes, media outlets highlighting his career, but almost immediately the narrative shifted. It wasn't, who was Reggie Carol? It became, what did Katt Williams have to do with this? The tragedy was rewritten before the facts were even clear. That shift, from justice for Reggie to blame for Katt, is the seed of the entire controversy. Because once the story became about Katt, the truth didn't matter anymore. Usually, when tragedy intersects with celebrity, the media can't resist. Think about it. When artists lose friends to violence or overdose, news outlets swarm like vultures. They run old photos, they interview distant relatives. They replay shaky cell phone footage until the public is numb. But with Reggie Carol, silence. No endless breaking news banners. No TMZ reporters lurking outside homes. It's as if the major outlets collectively decided to take a step back. Instead of fact-checking the storm, they let social media fill the vacuum. And that silence was powerful. It created a space where rumors flourished unchecked. Instagram sources claimed to have insider knowledge. TikTok accounts spread conspiracy theories. Twitter threads painted Katt Williams as a shadowy figure pulling strings. And because the mainstream media didn't push back, speculation started to look like fact. Ask yourself, when the media ignores a story that big, who benefits? Not the family, not the fans. The only people who win are those who wanted Katt Williams painted guilty without anyone asking real questions. The smear campaign didn't come all at once. It was carefully rolled out like a playbook. First, it was whispers about the house. It was Katt's home. Later details showed it wasn't. The property was leased by a corporation. But the correction never went viral. Then came the cousin rumors. A family member of Katt was arrested. Again, a distortion. It was a roommate. These weren't random mistakes, they were designed distortions. Each one added just enough smoke to suggest fire, even when none existed. And because Katt stayed quiet, nobody countered the narrative in real time. That's the genius of smear campaigns. They don't need solid evidence. They only need enough half-truths to plant doubt. Once that seed is there, people water it themselves. They connect dots that don't exist. They convince themselves that silence equals guilt. And by the time the truth arrives, the lie has already made the rounds. Timing matters. And the timing of this tragedy couldn't have been more convenient for Katt's enemies. After the Diddy verdict, whistleblowers became the internet's favorite targets. Social media trolls swarmed anyone who spoke too loudly about industry corruption. Online harassment campaigns popped up overnight. But somehow Katt Williams was different. He had dropped bombshells on Club Shay Shay, exposing rituals, naming names, calling out corruption, and walked away untouched. He was the last whistleblower standing, which made him the biggest threat. So when tragedy struck near his orbit, the timing was too perfect to ignore. Suddenly, the trolls who had left him alone had their opening. Katt wasn't dragged in because of evidence. He was dragged in because he was too dangerous to leave untouched. Enter Billy Soros. Practically overnight, he became the loudest voice tying Katt Williams to Reggie Carol's death. He wasn't grieving Reggie. He wasn't calling for justice. He was mocking Katt, tearing into his credibility and framing his silence as guilt. And the speed of it all was suspicious. Billy didn't wait for facts. He didn't wait for statements. He attacked instantly, almost like he had the script ready to go. His goal wasn't clarity, it was destruction. Instead of asking what happened to Reggie, Billy asked, why won't Katt speak? That shift in framing told you everything. This wasn't about a tragedy. It was about a smear campaign with Katt's name as the target. Here's the reality, stripped of rumors. Police responded to the scene. They found Reggie Carol and his roommate, Trail Williams. Reggie had suffered multiple gunshot wounds. Officers provided aid, but he didn't survive. Evidence was collected, witnesses were questioned, and very quickly authorities identified Trail Williams as the suspect. A warrant was signed, and he was arrested the same night. Katt Williams? He wasn't there. His DNA wasn't on anything. His name wasn't in the reports. And eventually, the district attorney publicly cleared him of any involvement. For prosecutors to go on record like that means they were confident. Confident enough to stake their credibility on it. But did the smear campaign stop? Not even close. Katt's silence became the biggest weapon used against him. People claimed, if he's innocent, why won't he say something? But that logic is flawed. Silence doesn't prove guilt, it proves awareness. And if anyone knows how dangerous words can be when twisted, it's Katt Williams. Over his career, he's been arrested more than 20 times. Charges came and went, but the damage lingered. He knows how narratives form, he knows how the system works. Lawyers often advise silence during investigations. Why? Because anything said publicly can and will be used against you. Silence isn't weakness, it's protection. But in a culture addicted to instant reactions, silence is treated as confession. And Katt paid the price for doing the smart thing. Here's where the smear campaign collapses on itself. Critics claim Katt paid off police to be cleared. But think about it. This is the same man who has been arrested repeatedly, sometimes for ridiculous reasons. If he had that kind of pull with law enforcement, why has he been humiliated with mugshots more times than most rappers? Katt's history shows the opposite of influence. He's been targeted by the system, not protected by it. His arrests, his charges, his battles with the law, all point to a man constantly on the wrong side of authority. To suddenly claim he's buddy-buddy enough with police to make charges disappear? It doesn't add up. But smear campaigns don't care about logic. They care about optics. Katt's silence wasn't unique. We've seen this happen before. Celebrities accused of scandals are told by their lawyers to stay quiet, and instantly silence is treated like an admission. Athletes, actors, politicians, the playbook is the same. The public demands statements. But when those statements come, they're often dissected, mocked, or used as evidence against the speaker. Silence becomes a trap. Speak and you're guilty. Don't speak and you're guilty, there's no winning. Katt's silence was smart, but in a world addicted to hot takes, it was painted as suspicious. What happened to Katt Williams follows a clear pattern. Link the target to a scandal, no matter how weak the evidence. Flood social media with rumors before facts are released. Frame their reaction, whether silence or defense, as proof of guilt. Keep the narrative alive even after official investigations clear them. We've seen it before. Martin Lawrence claimed Hollywood was after him, then had a breakdown that tabloids mocked. Dave Chappelle walked away from millions, smeared as crazy for refusing to play the game. Both were outspoken, both were punished. Now Katt is facing the same treatment. The tragedy is real. The playbook is just as real. Zoom out, and it's clear. Whistleblowers rarely escape unscathed. Powerful people don't just defend their secrets, they punish those who reveal them. And they do it publicly, so others see the consequences. Reggie Carol's death was tragic, but what happened after reveals the industry's true face. The tragedy wasn't used to mourn a rising talent. It was used as ammunition to smear the man who'd been speaking too much truth. That's not coincidence. That's a system at work. Katt's Club Shay Shay interview was a cultural earthquake. He didn't just talk about beef with other comedians. He exposed power structures, rituals, and names fans weren't supposed to hear. He broke the unspoken rule of Hollywood: never say too much. For powerful figures, Katt's honesty wasn't just inconvenient, it was dangerous. If his words stuck, they'd change how fans see the industry forever. That made him a liability. And in Hollywood, liabilities get silenced, one way or another. When Katt couldn't be bought, he had to be broken. Lost in all of this is Reggie Carol himself, a man with talent, ambition, and a growing fan base. His family should have been the focus. His story should have been told. Instead, it was hijacked. The tragedy became about Katt Williams, not Reggie Carol. That's how ruthless the smear campaign was. Even in death, the victim's story was overshadowed by the agenda to destroy someone else. And that should disturb everyone watching. What's happening to Katt isn't just about one man, it's a blueprint. If authorities can clear someone, yet rumors still destroy them, then facts no longer matter. That means anyone who speaks out is vulnerable. Today, it's Katt. Tomorrow, it could be another whistleblower, or another comedian, or another truth-teller. The precedent being set here is terrifying. Perception is more powerful than reality. Fans are split. Katt's loyal supporters see the smear for what it is, an organized attempt to discredit him. They defend him online, push back against trolls, and remind people of his history of truth-telling. But the wider public? Many only saw the rumors. For them, Katt's silence looks like guilt. That split is exactly what the smear campaign wanted. Divide the audience, sow doubt, destroy unity. If even part of the public doubts Katt, the mission is accomplished. Katt isn't the first. Martin Lawrence once warned Hollywood was after him before suffering a public breakdown. Dave Chappelle left millions on the table, branded crazy for refusing to play ball. Even legends like Prince and Michael Jackson spoke about forces behind the scenes only to be painted as eccentric or unstable. Katt stands in that same line, a comedian who dared to speak too much truth, punished with narratives designed to discredit him. History tells us what happens to people like him. The irony is brutal. Many of the things Katt has said in the past have later been proven true. He's exposed deals, scandals, and manipulations before they made the news. His track record isn't perfect, but it's strong enough to make powerful people nervous. That's why he's dangerous, not because he's always right, but because he's been right too many times. And when someone like that speaks, fans listen, enemies panic, and smear campaigns activate. At the end of it all, two truths remain. Reggie Carol's family deserves peace, not propaganda. And Katt Williams deserves fairness, not manufactured guilt. But the real story is bigger. Hollywood has shown us its formula. Wait for tragedy, twist it, weaponize it, and silence the truth-tellers. Katt Williams may have been cleared by investigators, but in the court of public opinion, he may never walk away clean. And maybe that's the point. Because if Katt falls, if the last whistleblower is destroyed, then who's left to speak?